people are more interacting with not only my personality, but information that they couldn't just look up on Zillow or Google themselves. They actually want to feel like someone's connecting with them on a personal level, but also educating them at the same time.
Welcome to the Raquel Show. This show is for entrepreneurs who want to play bigger in business and in life. And today I have a special guest that I met almost about a year ago at an event by no surprise. He had joined one of the largest EXP and top producing teams across the world. In a short 6 months, I saw a huge transformation, not only in his business, in the way he showed up. And one of the things I think we underestimate are choices that we make every day that compound to results. I remember telling him 6 months later when I saw him at an event that I was extremely proud of the progress that he had made, and it was extremely noticeable, especially on social media. He's a new agent who's not afraid to take bold action. And when a new agent reaches out to someone and says they want to interview them for a podcast, I love it when people are action takers and are that bold. So today I get to interview him and understand his story. So welcome to the show, Jorge Martinez.
Hey, Raquel, I'm super excited to be here and super honored that you asked me to join you. I listen to your podcast all the time when I'm at the gym, so I'm super excited and super honored.
Well, I'm honored to have you and be on the other side of the table. So for our listeners and for our watchers on YouTube, how long have you been in the business, just for our audience, and what made you kind of get into real estate?
Yeah, so I'm actually going into my second full year of real estate. I got licensed in August 2021. Crazy story. I found out right after I passed my exam that I had COVID. So I was having heat flashes and I thought it was nerves the whole time. So this is actually going into my second year in real estate. Prior to real estate, I was in the tech industry. Then the pandemic happened. And what'd you know? I was one of those techies that got furloughed for 10 months. And I ended up having my best friend since fifth grade, so 20 years. Her sister had been a real estate broker for over 20 plus years. She told my best friend, hey, instead of George being a bum on your couch with his laptop looking for jobs, tell him to come work for us. We forgot to hire a front desk gal. Tell him to come fill in for a few days. And honestly, that was how I got into real estate. I decided to quit my salary job at my first brokerage and kind of take a leap of faith, as scary as it was. And I told myself, I'm single, have no kids. I can rock it without life insurance or health insurance for a little bit. And it's either now or never. Am I going to wait till I'm 60 and look back and be like, damn, I could have been a great agent? Or am I going to actually do it? And to tell you the truth, it was one of the scariest things that I had made, like the decision that I made to do it. But I'm actually really glad that I did it. And I don't know where I'd be if I hadn't made that decision exactly a year ago to quit my salary job, switch brokerages, literally in the middle of a pandemic with only my savings from my commissions of when I did tech sales. And I told myself, now or never.
Yeah. What did you have to adopt in that mindset? Because I mean, like, looking back, you're like, oh, I did it. But for those that are listening, some of them might be going through some of these challenges, or some may be even at another job going, I really want to get into real estate full time or start my own business. So what did you have to do in your mindset to say like, it's all or nothing and I'm not looking back?
Yeah. So kind of coming from like a 9-to-5 job, I was so used to having that structure. And not only that structure, but someone kind of telling me what to do. And my first 2 weeks after quitting and going full-time real estate, I kind of had that aha moment where I kind of went into vacation mode at first. And I was like, you know what? I work for myself now. I can do whatever I want. And then I started to get scared because then I started to have to pay rent. I had to pay my car insurance, my car payment, I had to buy food and other bills. And I was just like, oh man, my student loans are still due. And I was like, you know what? Actually, maybe I need to get back to work. And I came to the office every day once I transferred over to Team Fast. And I told myself, I'm going to treat it like a job. I'm going to be here Monday through Saturday, and I'm going to show up. And to tell you the truth, I was so scared coming from a company that was 14 people to a team of over 350 agents at the time. And I didn't know anyone. So I told myself, you know what? It's now or never. So I came to the office every day and just stayed here from literally 9 a.m. to sometimes 10, 11 p.m. And I kind of just got to know agents that way and told myself, the only way you're going to get to know how to do real estate is fully immerse yourself. So I kind of asked people questions, even though I was scared. It's like the same things I tell my clients now. No question is a dumb question. The only dumb question is the one that you didn't ask.
Mm-hmm.
Small question to you might be the biggest needle mover, whether it's in your business or in your home buying process.
Oh, so much gold and so true. You know, even like when I met you, you had a massive shift and I could see why, right? You showed up, you made a commitment to yourself, but what specifically shifted for you, for your business to create this massive momentum that it has today?
Ooh, honestly, I feel like some people might knock it, but it was actually social media, to tell you the truth. Like, I even surprise myself because a lot of people tell me all the time, like I'm super natural on video and social media as a whole. But to tell you the truth, I'm like anyone else where I would get nervous and kind of critique myself and get in my own head and create my own imposter syndrome and say to myself in my head, like, you know what are people going to think about me posting this video? They're not going to take me credible. But it took one day when Elias called me out on a coaching call with over 150 people at the time and was like, I challenge you to make a video, post it. And I kid you not, I sat there for 7 hours that day, re-recording this like 25-second video. And I looked back at it recently and I was like, oh, it's a little cringe, but it definitely got the ball rolling. And now it's him challenging me to do social media has really propelled my business a lot faster than I could have anticipated. Because one, it not only gave me more confidence, but I started out doing scripts, which a lot of people didn't know. So doing those scripts by Neil Holmes that Kenny was giving us actually allowed me to not only read off a teleprompter, but also get educated at the same time. So when people were saying like, oh, how'd you learn real estate? Like I was actually learning, I'm reading these scripts that Kenny was sharing with the team. And I was just educating myself that way, reading them 20 times over and over and over. And then all of a sudden it started to click for me was that I was just like, oh, wow, wait, maybe that's why someone should buy a multi-unit versus their dream home for their first purchase and whatnot. But also social media now, I use it to hold myself accountable because I tell myself anytime it gets hard, I have so many more eyes on me that now people contact me and say, hey, you know what? I love those videos that you post. I had someone at the gym tell me that I didn't even know that they saw my video pop up in their Explore page and that they found it helpful. And so now it's kind of like creating that parasocial marketing that Kenny talks about. And people feel like they get to know me before they actually meet me. So they feel a lot more comfortable with working with me because they see me working out at the gym. They see me going on hikes. They see my everyday life and don't feel like I'm selling them. Because at the end of the day, for me, I never want to feel like a salesperson because I don't like to be sold myself. But I'd rather like build connections with people because I got my degree in communication. But my personality and my degree always attracted sales roles for some reason. But I love getting to know people. So definitely through social media, it's enabled me to do that. And I can really say that's a huge testament to the growth of my business and even me building confidence within myself that I never foresaw myself having.
I love that. You broke it down to imposter syndrome, to getting over the fact of being uncomfortable. And I was smiling because I know how it is to obviously go on video and to go, should I take it down? Should I post it? Should I take it down? That first video, right? Of like, oh my gosh, you have all these things that you can critique. But here's the thing, and here's what I know about you is you kept going and you kept learning. And like you said, you were learning through scripts, real estate, and not a lot of people do that, continue to do that, right? Because they get so in their head. What did you have to shift, or did you at all Like, and I'm sure even when you do videos today, you
Mhm.
sometimes even go, was that good enough? What did you have to shift in your thought process? Or if you just saying, hey, I'm going to do this no matter what every day and never look back?
Yeah. So honestly, I just had to get out of my own head and tell myself, like, you know what? Regardless, people are always going to think what they're going to think. Me doing this to build not only myself, but learn and grow as a person is what's going to really get me out of my comfort zone and help me become the person that I'm meant to become. Because not only that, but I feel like the more I continue to do video and show up on camera, not only the more confident I got, but the more I realized it actually helped others that I didn't even realize. It was just me more so holding myself back and being in my own head rather than just kind of being a normal person and just opening myself up to being out there more. Because what a lot of people don't realize too is that even when I put out content, I put out a video 2 days ago and it was a funny video of me and Alejandra dancing to the Rihanna song. And I have two left feet. I was too scared to like put myself on camera dancing, especially at the gym when you have all these like super buff macho guys walking out of the locker room looking at us. And I'm like, oh man. But I told myself, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm going to show up, be my authentic self, because at the end of the day, like there's someone that's going to relate to it. And I mean, there's so many people that DM me all the time, whether they're other agents that are asking me to show them how to create house tours or that they have two left feet too, and they want someone to dance with them on camera, or even clients, potential sellers or buyers, they DM me all the time too and say, you know what? I was freaking out with what's going on in the market today, but your videos have actually really eased me and I feel a lot more confident. Can we have a conversation? And I feel like it's just me showing up as myself is when I've realized that these videos touch more people than I could have anticipated. And I started to talk to myself. Someone told me, I went to like a seminar a few months ago, and someone told me, the person you talk to the most is yourself every day. So those moments that I catch myself, even when I'm in the car, and I kid you not, I felt weird doing it at first, but now I do it all the time. I look at myself in the mirror when I'm driving. And at the moment I catch myself have a negative thought, like I'll catch myself be like, no, I can't do this. I don't want to make those calls. Or maybe I'm not the best agent. And I'll look in the mirror, I'll pause the music and I'll say, you know what? You're badass. You're the best damn agent in the world. You are going to close 20 million sales volume this year in your second year. You're going to do this. And I try to rewire my brain and tell myself happy thoughts all the time. And I've noticed that has actually helped. And even Bob Proctor, someone showed me one of his seminars about 2 years ago. And I wrote on a little postcard, and it's on my mirror, and I read it every day. And I tell myself, I want to make $500,000 this year. I want to have a lean, muscular body, and I want to be confident and become a keynote speaker. And I feel like I've seen my confidence over the last year that I've had that on my mirror start to come out even stronger and me be more confident within myself. But it's all about how you talk to yourself and kind of drown out what other people are saying, because regardless, people are always going to have something negative to say.
You know what? There is like so much nuggets in what you said. And I mean, if I can pause, I mean, I definitely see the confidence and I love your mindset and you talking to yourself or you just empowering yourself to keep going because it really does show. And I have you on this podcast because number one, I seen the transformation firsthand. Second, I just came from Nashville and saw like you're the guy that everyone talks about in rooms full of opportunities, right? That's where people that are newer in the industry or starting a new business, starting entrepreneurship, on their own for the very first time, that's the position you actually want to be in. It's very hard to get into, but it's how you show up, right? And as a new agent and someone who is looking to build momentum, or even a seasoned agent that may be in a funk right now, what advice would you give them? Because I love your like grit and your tenacity to just keep going.
Honestly, I feel like one of the biggest things that I've even tried and I've been working on instilling myself is that no matter how hard you work, you always have to kind of take that pause and set those boundaries for yourself, because toward the end of 2022 and coming into 2023, my goal for 2023 is, like I said, is to close 20 million sales volume going into my second year. And even I was scared to admit that out loud, because I was like, you know what? I'm a newer agent, but I had to tell myself there's agents that I see, like you said, that are more seasoned than myself, that are actually leaving the business, and they've been in the business 8 years. And so, like, I told myself, you know what? Even if you have to partner with so many different seasoned agents just to learn what works and kind of take what is making them such a top producer or a strong agent, and to keep them going, and kind of take little bits and pieces in those nuggets and kind of implement them into my own business and my own personal growth and development, because not everybody's the same. And even when I partnered with top agents, that everyone is like, that person is crushing it. As I get to know them and I'm partnering with them, I also notice too, like, they're looking to me and they're like, hey, you're crushing it on social media, or I like your positive attitude. And that top agent sometimes tells me, you know what? I love partnering with you because you're great at marketing and social media. But whenever I feel like I'm being mean, she's like, I send you in because you know how to use your words very nice and calmly. And she's even told me, you know what? I love working with you because you make me want to be a nicer person and reevaluate how I run and operate my own business too. And I'm not going to lie, it does shock me a lot of the time still till this day, because I'm just like, holy smokes, like the statistics of people barely being able to close one deal their first year, and even barely making it to their second year. And to tell you the truth, I pinch myself almost every day and get up and tell myself, like, holy smokes, I'm doing it because I'm the first in my family to, one, graduate college, let alone get into real estate. Because even till this day, I feel like there's moments where my family doesn't understand real estate. A lot of people don't, where they're like, you know what? You closed one deal, you made $100,000, didn't you? Oh, you closed 4 this month? You're a millionaire. And I'm like, holy smokes, people don't realize you got to save for taxes, you got to save for marketing, you got to pay your bills. And then there could be moments where you pop off in the month of March, but you don't close anything until the summer. So it's kind of having to set those systems in place, but also hold yourself accountable. But also, like I tell my clients, I'm your confidant, your realtor best friend. I'm even your therapist sometimes. And a lot of the time, it's really who you surround yourself with. And that's one of the biggest things that I told Kenny is that I love about our team, is that when interest rates were kind of popping off and going super high, just surrounding myself with the team camaraderie, it has really kind of put my blinders on, and everyone on the team is here to win it and to grow together and really collaborate with one another. So really surrounding myself with people that have a great mindset. Because when I worked at Yelp right after college, they used to call it loser lunches. When you weren't on the phones making your 100 dials, your 3 pitches a day, and your 1 close that you were required to do, if you were not at your desk and you were sitting in a circle with people at lunch that were like, I hate this job, I don't like this, I don't want to do these calls, then you're gonna be in that loser lunch and get that mindset. But you should be around people that are like, when earlier someone was in the office with us and they're like, you know what? I made 5 calls. I'm over it today. I'm going to go golfing. I'm like, dude, why don't you make 5 more calls before you go? Like,
oh my God, I love that about you.
And I mean, trust me, right before you and I hopped on, I was sick for a few weeks, didn't make a ton of my calls, but I sat here. I didn't want to make my calls, but I told myself too, it was like, you know what? I'm going to sit here and make my calls, at least 15 of them minimum, and reach out to people, because at the end of the day, like, if I don't do those, then I'm starving. I have bills to pay. I'm too cute to be on the street.
Oh my God, I love that. And you talked a lot about, hanging around different types of people and surrounding yourself with people that kind of lift you up. And I know one of the things that I was taught from one of my mentors early on is growth does not happen in isolation. So who have been some of those key people in your world or mentors that have helped you along the way to like level up?
Yeah, I would definitely say my mentor, Hector, when I first joined Team Fast, he was the mentor that I got paired with. One of the biggest things that I loved about him is that, and love about him still, is that him and I were such a great personality match that learning from his sales style and just the way that he operates his business was super detrimental to me beginning my real estate career when I first joined the team last year, right off the bat, because he was just so go, go, go. And then he is just so systematic in the way that he builds his business. And then I started to partner with other agents on the team like Jung Hee, and Jung Hee is just like straight shooter, go, 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 very like, hey, I'm going to help you sell your house, but I'm not here to force you to sell your house. I'm here to present you with the facts, allow you to make an educated decision, and boom, boom, boom. And one of the biggest things about partnering with Hector and Jung Hee is that they're both such lovely individuals. They both have different styles, but I was able to take little bits and pieces from both of them and realize I like that. Maybe I don't like that, but I love that. So I'm going to put those into my own type of way and how I run my business. And then even now, I have newer agents that see me too. And they're like, hey, I want to partner with you. How do I do this? And I'm not going to lie, when it first happened, I was a little scared because I was like, oh, I'm only 6 months in and I'm not that seasoned. And someone wants me to train them already. But I told myself that's more a me thing. It's because in the beginning too, I'm not going to lie, I did get too reliant on these top producers that were kind of taking things by the reins right off the bat as they were teaching me. But I was able to kind of like eventually tell myself, you know what, you got to learn now. It's now or never. So you got to jump into it. And you eventually got to be the more seasoned one on a transaction when you're working with a newer agent.
If you could go back, George, and what's something you wish you would have known when you started growing your business?
Ooh, I would definitely say more systems, because as I mentioned earlier, my business did pop off a lot faster than I anticipated. And I didn't have systems or a time blocking schedule in place at the time. So when things did pop off in my business, I got very overwhelmed and I cried a lot. That was probably a time where I almost wanted to give up. And I even talked to someone on our leadership team and I was like, I don't know if I could do this. Like, I got really overwhelmed and I think I kind of just forgot to go back to the basics, but really learning your systems head on, because I think that's one of the biggest things with social media today. And the misconception newer agents do have is that, hey, you know what? Real estate is all social media. It's like, nope, you still got to get out there and do the work too, because I'll even catch myself sometimes. I'll be like, you know what? Like, maybe I don't want to door knock. It's not my thing, or cold call, but I tell myself like, social media might not always work all the time. There's other leads out there that I'm not capturing. And so what I do in that instance too, is that there's other agents on the team that might be better at door knocking or might be better at follow-up on cold calling. And so I partner with those people and I say, you know what? I know this isn't my strength, but I can help out here. If you can manage that part, I will teach you the contract part if you just continue the cold calling or the follow-up with these open house leads.
So good. What do you think separates, as I'm listening to you, what do you think separates agents or even entrepreneurs from like the average to like the top people in the industry?
I would say what separates the top agents or entrepreneurs in any industry from those that are kind of just being average is that don't think about it. Just go for it. Because I realized that's when my business really started to take off, when I stopped thinking, oh my God, how is this going to turn out? I just started trying so many different things at once that I was just like, you know what? I can't think about it. Something's got to land. Like, something's going to work out. And if I just sit here and actually one of my biggest personality traits is stability. So I even catch myself struggling with that sometimes, because I always think like, is this going to work out? Is that going to work out? Like, what is it going to look like after I try this? But the times that I'm just like, nope, I just got to do it, are the times that I'm like, oh, okay, I'm like floating. I actually made it. Like, holy smokes, this worked out. So just not even thinking about it, just being, like you said earlier, an action taker.
If you were to start all over today or give somebody advice, a new agent advice, where should they focus their time, their energy to generate leads today?
Honestly, I would say open houses for sure, and just really getting in the field. In the beginning, I was stubborn myself when it came to open houses. And that was just because, one, I didn't know how to really do them. So once a more seasoned agent that I realized was really getting all of her leads from open houses, I told her, I was like, hey, can I shadow you? Like, you don't even have to share your leads with me. I just want to come see how you do open houses. I'll put up all the signs, I'll buy all the snacks and whatnot. And the moment she showed me what worked for her, I realized immediately that it was just having a conversation with people, welcoming them into the house, whether that was putting on a Michael Bublé playlist, lighting a nice Christmas style candle, putting out maybe some snacks for the kids, making sure you had some coloring books for the kids and all that stuff, and really creating a home experience for people is what really propelled my business. And I wish I did that earlier on, because you could even ask some of our leadership. They would be like, did you do any open houses? I'm like, nope. I kind of just showed up to show up and put on social media that I was there. And now, aside from social media and my sphere of influence, open houses has been where I've actually gotten my highest leads, like $2 million in up clients.
Amazing. I'm just curious now, how many people did you have at your last open house?
At my last open house, there were about 20 groups that came by. And then I actually use an iPad, which is what one of the seasoned agents taught me, is using an iPad. And I use this program called Open Home Pro. I was being frugal at first and didn't pay the $240. So I recommend paying it because it sends out emails and auto uploads them to your CRM right after. But definitely use that. And I kid you not, most of my leads do come from open houses now, and they're a lot warmer because I get to have that open interaction with them right off the bat. And they're not an internet lead, because I feel like internet leads that I've gotten sometimes, they kind of just ghost you afterward. But I'm very big on building a relationship with people and that human to human interaction. So once I got out of my skin and out of my own head and actually learned from someone, I definitely do enjoy open houses a lot more.
One of the things that you talked about is you love relationships and you love building that connections, and you're really big on social media. Is there a strategy? And of course, I love your home tour. So if you don't follow him, we're going to drop his handle in a little bit. But what strategy would you say for somebody? Because I know some people are just creating content just to create content today, right? But what has made your content so, I say, out of the box that people are DMing you, people are connecting with you, people are loving your home tours?
Yeah. So I would say people more so love the home tours and the talking head videos. I've noticed for the content that I put more valuable information, in the sense that if I post a $1.5 million home, I DM my lender, Mike, over at Fairway. I'm like, hey, can you run me these numbers? How much would someone with today's interest rate have to pay or have to make in a year in order to afford this $1.5 million home? And I've realized those videos, and then the ones that I put myself in the intro, have actually gotten me the most traction. So that's where I've realized too, people are more interacting with not only my personality, but information that they couldn't just look up on Zillow or Google themselves. They actually want to feel like someone's connecting with them on a personal level, but also educating them at the same time. And a lot of the content too is I've trialed and errored a lot of content. Some of them I'll text Kenny and I'll be like, this video flopped. And to tell you the truth, there was a moment where he was like, nobody's going to want to watch a 90-second video home tour reel. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to try it one more time. And it kind of popped off after that. And I even have agents today now telling me, you know what? I'm an agent and I actually watch your full 90-second video and I'm surprised. And even some of those agents are like, you know what? Can I take you to dinner? I'll buy you wine. Can you feature me in your next video, or can we collab? And at the same time, honestly, to tell you the truth, sometimes it's even a great opportunity to collaborate with them, because it allows me to pull from their sphere of influence, because maybe there might be someone that connects with you, Raquel, or then we collab on something, but they don't connect with me, but they're going to reach out to you because they're like, you know what? I love Raquel's personality. And then that creates a partnership between you and I. And I've actually had that happen where other agents, we collab and they're like, why did Bob that I know back from Pasadena reach out to you and not me? That's my cousin's boyfriend.
Yeah,
And
I could totally see it. I could totally see it, especially with you. So what's next for George? And what are you most excited that you're working on? You've got some big goals. You've created some massive momentum. And I know that this is just the beginning. And I love this is why I wanted you on the show. This is just the beginning of like what's ahead of your like big journey, you know?
Yeah. So I actually have reached out to some agents outside of the Bay Area that I've fallen in love with their content as well. And we've talked about collaborating with one another and building out a referral network that way. There's this guy, Brandon, in the Sacramento area, and I loved his content, kind of similar to mine, great vibe. And I told him, I was like, hey, you know what? What if we did a kind of like a real series together where we choose a price point and we create a referral network between the Bay and Sacramento? And he was like, what price point are you looking? I said, you know what? Let's do 1.5. What can you get for 1.5 here in the East Bay? And then I do the video tour in the Bay. And then I'm like, whoop, passing it over to Brandon in Sacramento. And then Brandon shows you what you can get for 1.5 in Sacramento. And then so that way, when people are like, you know what, I could probably get more in Sacramento than I can in the East Bay. So then they reach out to me or Brandon, and then we kind of build a partnership that way. So I've been chatting with agents in Sacramento area, Southern California, because eventually I do want to make a move. And that's what I do love about the team that I'm on, but then also with social media is being able to create those referral partners while still be able to kind of move forward and being like a newer agent, a modern day agent in the sense where you can go between San Diego and the Bay Area and do real estate. You just got to find those people that you're willing to create those partnerships with, that you do trust with not only your business, but your clients as well.
So good. Where can people connect with you?
Yeah, so I'm heavily strong on my Instagram. So you could always reach me at George, which is JORGE.Simon, SIMON, and Junior, which is JR. You can always feel free to shoot me a DM. I always look at my DMs all day, every day. So I'm always happy to help if anyone ever has any questions or wants to collaborate.
And we will also put it in the show notes. So make sure you view the show notes. And as we wrap up, there's always one question that I ask every single guest on this show. What does George do to play bigger in business and in life?
What do I do? I would honestly say, I have to go to the gym every day. I feel like going to the gym really sets my mood for how my day is going to run that entire day, because I just like to disconnect, have me time, get my workout in, do some meditation before I actually look at any of my emails or do any business, because I feel like that gives me the opportunity to get my mind right, my body right, and then also bring up my energy for the day too. And not to mention, when I do disconnect like that at the gym, I do happen to spark conversations with people that are like, what do you do? I'm like, oh, I just happen to be a real estate agent. So subconsciously get clients at the gym too.
So good. And I just heard that even through your journey of working out, you had a massive transformation. So congrats.
Thank you. Yeah, I used to weigh 420 pounds. So down 200 was a struggle, but honestly, I can say that weight loss journey has really attributed to how I even run my business today too.
Over 200, how many pounds? 200?
About 200 pounds. Yeah.
200 pounds. Now you guys know, like, this is massive momentum, massive transformation, not only in like health, body, the way he thinks, his business. And it is why I am so honored to have him on the show. Thank you so much for being on the show, George.
Thank you for having me. I enjoyed it.
I cannot wait to keep seeing you play even bigger this year, my friend.
Oh, I'm super excited. And I definitely can't wait for your Play Bigger event in Scottsdale.
Oh, you know, we need your energy in the room, and we are definitely going to be bringing it.
Yes. I didn't just buy my ticket either. I'm bringing a friend too. So super excited. We're actually booking our hotels today.
So excited. All right. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.